Once upon a time, in a muddy little city that smelled of pee and garbage, two boys inherited identical sacks of gold. One boy bought every book ever written, married a woman who could conjugate verbs in her sleep, and set out to become the smartest man alive. The other boy bought a simple workbench, married a girl who laughed like a goose, and decided happiness was a good enough profession. The wise man's life became a long, brilliant disaster. Every scheme he invented to get richer collapsed, like an addict smoking glue. His children grew up sarcastic, his wife grew thin and sharp, and his beard went grey. Meanwhile, the simpleton hammered souls, sang terrible songs, and greeted every catastrophe with the same three words: God's will, fine. Shop burned down, fine. Cow died, fine. Tax collector took the bed, fine, he just said. Now the floor will be cooler in summer. Word of these two opposites reached the king, a fat man with a laugh like a friar. The king loved experiments, so he summoned both of them to his castle. To the wise man, he gave a mountain of gold to count. Naturally, the king kept sneaking in extra coins. The wise man went half mad, trying to reconcile the numbers, and ended up screaming at a sack of money. To the simpleton, the king sent the worst: plague, fire, soldiers, grief. Everything stripped away until the man sat in the ashes of his house with nothing left but a cold potato and a song. He ate the potato, thanked God for the seasoning of soot, and kept singing. The king, stunned that joy could survive that kind of test, did the only sensible thing. He made the simpleton his prime minister. Suddenly, the guy who couldn't read was signing royal decrees, and with a smile, the country prospered. People started whistling and singing in the streets. The wise man stormed the palace, demanding justice for being smarter. The king, now genuinely fond of the whistling and singing idiot, set one last test: a single loaf of bread between them. The wise man launched into a 40-minute lecture on fairness, scarcity, and historical precedent. The simpleton tore the loaf in half, handed over the bigger piece, and said, "Eat, friend, you're all bones." That was that. The simpleton ruled happily for decades, never learned the alphabet, and died in a mid-Disney song. The wise man spent the rest of his life in a palace library, writing furious proofs that the universe had made big mistakes that no one ever read. The king visited the grave one spring morning, listened to the wind where the singing used to be. The king was sad and knelt in the idiot's grave. He said, "Now I have no one left to ask, what is the way of the world?"